What is up, everybody? It's your boy Duty back again with another video, and it's begun, folks. What did your boy Duty say? It has begun. And you're saying to yourself, what are you talking about, Duty? What's begun? Well, we all know that DSP decided to go out on the ledge and make friends and try to expand his viewer base. And of course, most importantly, try to expand his dent base of supporters. And we all said it. We said, okay, Phil, not a problem. You want to go out there. You want to put yourself out there. You know what's going to happen. The eye of the internet's going to turn on you and focus. And apparently that's what's happening, folks. That's right. We have a video today posted out here, a commentary style video on our boy Phil. That's right. Omegon, I believe that's Omegon. Yes, I subscribed to him a while back ago. He does amazing commentary content, got about 150,000 subs. You know, he got some game. He got some really good game. He's very articulate and he does a good job of explaining things, much way better than your boy Duty. And yeah, he's a really good content creator. I'm gonna put a link to his channel and a link to the video in this video in the description of the video. Check out his content. He does videos on locales and many other things. And it's really good. It's really good. If you like kind of moist criticals kind of videos, those type of things, this would be right up your alley. So give him a sub, give him a like. Now we're gonna be taking a look at his video that he just put out maybe like 15-20 minutes ago, a little bit longer. I took a look at it and yo, it's pretty fire. It is pretty fire. It's essentially saying everything that I've been saying and the detractors have been saying. Just he puts it in a nice way. He puts it in a good content and he's very well spoken. That's right. It's about, let's see, it's 18 minutes long. We're not gonna watch all of it. We're gonna jump back and forth. So it starts off. Let's start off at the 22-second mark. We're gonna let it play. Give his thoughts on Phil's recent shenanigans, and your boy Duty will be giving some commentary. So let's get into it.
Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be responding to Dark Side Phil. Recently he has had a bit of a renaissance in some semblance of popularity because of a recent appearance on the Kino Casino. This in turn led to an increase in his fortunes. Congratulations to Dark Side Phil. Now I had assumed one of the reasons he went on that particular show was because it wasn't LOLCal Live. And the reason it wasn't LOLCal Live is because he knows he'd get bullied for quite a lengthy period of time by Keemstar and then mocked to high hell by Boogie and Wings. More notably Wings, I think, because he's a better gamer. So to stick it to LOLCal Live and the fact that he'd never get the money that, they were originally going to offer to him, he went to Kino Casino. For the sake of this video, I am not going to be taking shots at Kino Casino, as I have no real vested interest in that show. I know, though, that they get mocked by a lot of people because of Andy Warski's poor decisions and PPP's, well, being himself, really. But Phil appeared, Phil got some support. And if you know Phil, Phil is, well, he's the type to ask for money even if he's already been given money. He also believes that, while it's great to receive money through other means, the donations are what really matter to him. If he doesn't receive a certain amount, his show is a failure, which is an interesting interpretation, I'll give you that.
Perfectly right. Just exactly what the detractors have been saying. Our boy Phil, if he doesn't, get the right amount of contributions or certain contributions, he has a meltdown, he has a fit. And it doesn't matter how much money he makes in super chats or in ad revenue or in memberships. It doesn't matter. I mean, this week alone, the Kino Casino guys came out and most of them like to do super chats. They came out and supported Phil. They wailed out on him. Some of them even gave him like a $50 dono. And Phil still complained about tips because he barely hit the tier 1 tip goal on all of his streams.
Couple clips that were shared to Twitter of one of his shows talking about ebegging came to light, and they're the ones I want to focus on. If we have time afterwards, we might well look at his thoughts on Mr. Metica.
You guys know the deal with my streams?
Yes, generally speaking, they suck. You're terrible at video games. You ebeg every 2 minutes like an ad on YouTube. It's a very repetitive routine.
Very simple. 50 bucks in tips is my goal. If I hit that, I consider this a successful stream and I did good.
Now, as a full-time streamer on your part, that's actually quite a low goal for what I would expect. I know other streamers who have a minimum goal of 100. Because this is your job, I have to respect and understand that you will have to have a goal to make sure that you can keep things afloat. The issue you have is you've been on social media for over 10 years. You've made a lot of money. We know where a lot of that money went. into microtransactions for mobile video games, for example. We know about this. We know that there are multiple properties involved. I believe, don't you sublet some? So you have income. You're still considered a failure though, because you do still literally beg every stream for more donations. You received a fair amount after your appearance on the Kino Casino, which was interesting, but I still put you up there with the likes of Chris Chan when it comes to asking for donations.
If I don't, I consider it. I didn't do so.
Okay, I need to correct him real quick. He is wrong on one whatchamacallit. So he said that Phil has other revenue sources. He doesn't. He streams, he gets Patreon money, he gets memberships, he gets super chats, he gets super thanks, and he gets ad revenue and of course tips. Those are sorts of revenue. He doesn't have any other revenue. He doesn't have property, he doesn't have real estate. The one property I think he was referencing was the condo in Connecticut, which was foreclosed a couple years ago during the bankruptcy. So just wanted to correct that information.
Good. Okay, that's what I'm looking for. Anything else that comes in, super chats, super stickers, memberships, gifted memberships, all well appreciated. Thank you so much in advance to anyone who supports the stream in those ways. But tonight I am looking for 50 bucks in tips.
Now, to me, that's already an interesting separation, because getting the other forms of monetary rewards from your audience should surely count towards your goal. I can understand memberships if this was on YouTube being separate from donations because there are different membership levels. Totally understand that. But to have an additional goal for donations is strange. You should include the super chats. If there was a way of removing the YouTube fee of 30 to 40%, whatever it is, sure, that would be advantageous to you. But I guess because you can't access that money straight away, that is why you draw that line. I'm not at the level you've been at, but I've never thought of it as a failure when I stream if I don't receive a donation. I really don't. I think that it is a reward for being good, sure, but it's not an indicator I've done well, and it is not an indicator that I have failed if I do not get one. Perhaps I don't have your mindset.
I did not even hit 20.
I don't think anyone has that mindset, to be honest. You stream, and if you get contributions or donations, good. If you don't, you chalk it up and you move on. And what you try to do is you look at those analytics from that stream or whatever. You see what worked, what didn't work, and then you modify. And hopefully, the next time you stream, you'll make some money or some income. But he's 100% correct there. You know, determining your stream worth or how good it is based on if you hit a tip goal is pretty fucking pathetic.
$20 in tips on my first stream today, Nintendo World Championships. So it'll be great to hit that tonight.
Question. If you don't hit your donation goal of 50 bucks per stream, does the remainder of the previous goal carry over? And does this take into account the thousands of dollars you got in donations shortly after your appearance on the Kino Casino? It's going to be something you address later anyway, but I thought I'd set it up. Additionally, memberships and other forms of donations that isn't strictly them giving you money you can access immediately isn't necessarily a bad thing, because it means you're going to get a decent paycheck when the next pay cycle comes around. And you should be grateful for that, because you have made a lot of money in this game. As a terrible gamer, you've done well. Yet for some reason, you can't help but act as if it's never enough. You're a millennial, aren't you? I bet you are. Oh, this is embarrassing.
I'll answer that, but Phil will give his answer later, which is always incorrect or insufficient. Phil looks at every single stream as an individual workday for him. He doesn't look at it cumulative. For example, if he makes $150 in tips on one stream, he still expects to get $50 on the next, a minimum of $50 on the next stream in tips. And if he doesn't get it, it's a bad stream, it's a bad day. Just like if he gets $49 on one stream and then $49 on the second stream, in his eyes, Phil sees that as two failed streams. So no, he doesn't take into account the $4,000 that he made on Sunday from Kino Casino. No, he does not. He sees that as a one-time thing that he got money for, and the next day the ticker goes back to zero. And no, he never carries over any funds. For example, he says $50 is goal. If he made $150, you would think he would carry over $100 to the next stream. No, he doesn't. The counter always goes back to zero.
They'll make up for that. Thank you in advance. What's hilarious now is that, so I literally am just doing exactly what I do every day, right? So now my haters on Twitter are coming after me saying, oh, you see, today he was asking for money on stream.
I don't think it's that you ask for money when you stream, nor that you link your relevant socials for people to be able to, donate to you. It's not that. It is the frequency in which you do it. And I mean every 2 minutes, 3 minutes on your relevant streams. It's the fact you do it so much for so little return, minus the, influx after your appearance on Kino Casino. Again, you do this so much That is where the accusation comes from. And it's because you've asked for so much in the past as well, received so much in the past, and then people found out what you were actually spending it on. The comparison of you and Chris Chan exists because Chris Chan would ask for money for a phone bill, or to buy food only to then go buy Lego. How are you any different when you'd ask for money to pay for your bills, when you then went and spent it on microtransactions for a WWE mobile game?
And people are actually defending.
And this is a guy that isn't into the vortex. He's not that deep into the vortex, and yet he knows and understands that Phil is an e-beggar, a scammer, and what he spends his money on WWE champions, DoorDash, and so on. It's so funny, and I love when non-vortex people get a whiff when they smell DSP in their vicinity, and how they come to the same conclusion everyone else does. Every single person that's ever been in Phil's vicinity, except for those 150 to 200 dents, every single person says the same thing. What the hell is this? What is this guy for real? Because those are the questions I get. Is this guy for real? And what the hell is this? Those are the two reactions I typically get when someone new gets exposed to Phil. All right, so I'm gonna bounce a little bit here, because it's just Phil talking. You've heard it nonstop over and over again. There's another little segment here around the 747 mark that I'd like to play. Let's keep going.
He's only ever really interested in the short-term gratification and not playing a long game.
What the hell are you talking about? I couldn't believe it. People were actually defending me. I was like, what? People are defending me?
In January last year, a YouTuber, a mukbanger called Amberlyn Reed, found herself on the receiving end of what she had never had on this platform, positivity, because a Belgian YouTuber had defended her. So that Belgian YouTuber's army of followers, a contingent as I called them, went and showered her with praise and happiness, and then they realized after about a month she was a fraud. People right now are defending you. Of course they are, because right now you're riding a bit of a wave. It's a small one, but it's one that you can take advantage of if you know how to play the game, which you don't. So I fully expect this to diminish at an expedited rate. If you don't know how to play the game properly, and you're a terrible gamer, it is inevitable that you will lose that support at a rate akin to that of Amberlyn Reed and the Belgian contingent.
That hasn't happened in a decade. Seriously, no one has had my back in a decade.
Now this is a load of bollocks. We know this because the vast amounts of money you've received over the decade you've been online. You cannot say people have not had your back when they have been paying your bills for a decade. You cannot say this when they've been paying for your video game transactions, for the food in your belly, the rubbish clothes on your back. I would say microphone as well, but you have some weird radio setting on yours. And then before someone says it, yes, I'm very much aware my mic is still dog shit as well, thank you. I appreciate the feedback.
And now people are actually being nice to me and standing up for me. Wow. So you mean I can do the same thing everyone else does now and I won't be crucified for it by a bunch of obsessive nut jobs? Well, no, I will still be, but the thing is no one cares about them anymore, right? No one gives a shit about what they have to say, and that's a good thing.
People do care what they have to say, the nut jobs that is, because again, a lot of this comes down to the entitlement that you have presented over the many years you've been online, and the fact that you have never relented, which is impressive. It shows a level of conviction. You'd never make it as a Marvel villain, of course, but at the same time, you've done it so much, so often, for so long, it is unlikely to change the perspective just because, for a little while, you're riding a bit of positivity. I'm sure you'll screw up in the near future, and this will come to bite you on the backside. Now, the tweet we are screen recording is a three-parter. There's a second and third video, so the second one is what we're going to look at now.
Tate S says, if you were to work overtime one week, does that mean you just work time and a half the next week? No. Right. Because I had a good day on Sunday, a really good day with that React event. I'm just supposed to not care about working for the whole week and just be like, yeah, it's fine. I don't need any income. I've made this analogy before. If you own a business, right? And let's say, for some reason, you have a record-breaking day of sales, right? Does that mean you just shut the store down for the rest of the week? Oh, I'm good? No. What are you talking about?
While a fair analogy to make, it is a false equivalence to compare yourself, the streamer, with that of a shop. Shops are contractually obligated to be open at certain business hours. You are not. You are a streamer. It was suggested to you perhaps you scale back when you have one of those good days, because less is more, a concept you are not fully, let's say, accustomed to or willing to participate in. As a creator on YouTube, I know for a fact October, November, December are the best months. So I will always be active as much as I can be on YouTube during those months, December especially. I also know January is the worst. Therefore, while making regular content, am nowhere near as active as I am during the month of December, because I know the nature of that game. You as a streamer know that this does also impact you because of things like tax seasons and holidays. But during those months, and I've seen it, you beg even harder and your viewership goes down, which is something you should surely be aware of. So when you do have those really good months or days where you get thousands of dollars in donations, it is merely a suggestion for you, not so you can ebeg less, but so you can take time off. It's all many people want, to have a little bit of a breathing room to wiggle about, as it were.
Asking for money is
100%. And the problem here is that Phil is not a business. If you consider panhandling, if you consider begging, streaming online and begging for money that Phil does a business, then every single panhandler, right? Every single bum, anyone that's asked you for a quarter on the street, right, should be considered an LLC. They should be considered a small business because they're doing the same exact thing Phil is doing. They're asking you to dig in your pocket and give him money. So the analogy is completely false. It's not equivalent. It isn't. Now, I do agree regarding less is more. It do. And I'll give you one example here. So I haven't streamed for almost 2 months. I took a break for the summer just to kind of do stuff with the family or whatever. And for the most part, I stream 1 to 2 times a week when I used to stream, before the summer came. And I didn't stream for 2 months, and I let people know, hey, I'm just busy, whatever, you know what I mean? And then I scheduled the day before yesterday, I scheduled a session to do a stream because I wanted to hang out. You know what happened that day? I got peak 800 people to come out to my streams. 800 people, which is a lot. Normally when I stream, I get anywhere between 400 and 600 people that come and see my stream. Depending on the topic, I may get more, but I average between 400 and 600 people that like to come out and hang out with me and watch my stream. I peaked at about 850 yesterday on my stream, and people came out and people were cool and nice and had a good time, and it was a good stream. Now, if I streamed every single day, people wouldn't come out. I wouldn't get those numbers. I'd probably get like 250 people to come out because, you get tired of seeing the same person over and over again. But of course, Phil can't see that. To him, he thinks, no, I have to stream. If I can do 12 hours a day of streaming, I would, because that means there's an opportunity for me to make money. And it just doesn't work that way, Phil. You have a set core of people that support you. And you streaming more doesn't mean they're going to give you more money. I've used this analogy before. There's a pot of money, Phil, for you from your supporters. And once that dries up, that's it, Phil. You're not getting anything more than that.
Is the problem. I'm literally saying, here's my goal. Please support the stream if you enjoy it. Am I saying, right now, drop everything you're doing and against your own will, start giving me your money. Open your wallets and unload them into the stream. Did I say that?
No one's saying that you say that either. They're saying that you asking for money on a more regular basis, a frequent basis, I earlier referenced 2 to 3 minutes, like a YouTube ad, because you are like clockwork on it. That is what many people take issue with. Because that is what you do as a full-time streamer, it can be argued your content is less about the gaming or the conversation, it is more about you seeing what you can get from those who watch you, as if them watching you is a privilege that they should also pay for. You're a millennial, we know you're entitled, but your level of entitlement you try and discard or disregard or downplay as, but I didn't explicitly say unload your wallets, so what is the problem?
So unless I said that, if that's the case, then you should be offended, all right? I'm doing exactly the same thing everybody else does. All right, so if you have a problem with that, turn your internet off right now, because anyone who makes content is asking for contributions from you. I hate to tell you.
Public disclaimer. While there is a surge in popularity certainly on, as I earlier mentioned, TikTok, for people to do things like this, there are many streamers who do not do this, and it's not for the reason he's about to give. Many don't do it because they don't want to scare the audience away. They want you to stick around. Some are not motivated by monetary gain and just want to put on a decent show. Of course, it is unrealistic to think that that is a majority. I'm not so naive as to think that. When I stream, I do not do this. Unless it is done as the memed, if you have time to watch, you have time to donate. If you know where that's from, you'll get the joke. Generally streaming though, that's not what I do. But I know that this is not a popular trend with those who full-time stream. Again, people know what Phil has made over the years, and that is why people draw such issue with this, because 10 years later, he is still dirt poor, apparently, because he cannot keep hold of any of his money, because the moment he gets it, it's a race to the bottom, so he can then continue to ask for more. And I'll be honest, I'm impressed he's still here, but I don't know how much longer he can do this for, before he starts to lose that audience. He's in his early 40s. I can't imagine he'll be doing this when he's in his 60s with any level of success. Although what you can and cannot consider success is subjective. But we'll base it on Phil's level for the time being. Someone who is more successful than I am, so I try and be a bit careful with how I phrase things.
Unless they're already filthy rich, then they don't, because they don't have to, because they're filthy rich. Normal people actually have to work and earn. You know what I'm saying?
The thing here, Phil, and it is another bone of contention your detractors have, is that had you not been so reckless, and still reckless with the money you made, you would actually be rich. You've spent and blown so much on what you wanted, rather than putting it aside for that day when this all ends, considering your future instead of just blowing it. I mentioned race to the bottom in an earlier comment. That's what you do every time. Your $50 pays for what? Deliveroo? Uber? Eats? I don't know. Whatever it is you do when you're not on the game. I would say playing a game, but you're really bad. You should consider getting an Atari, and I have a sneaky feeling you'd still suck at Pong. Now, we have reached the end of these 3 clips. I would love to know what you think. Please let me know in the comments. I do feel that yes, half the time, Phil does get some, so it's even less than half now, unjustified criticism when it comes to his requests for donations because of what he has done over 10 years as a streamer, a professional no less. I believe most of it to be justified, the criticisms about that especially, and him being a terrible gamer. Do let me know in the comments. As a final thing, I'm going to be streaming on Twitch later today, some fishing, if you're interested.
Alright, that's it. It's a little bit longer. It's more of, chilling for him, which is perfectly fine. Like I said, I'm going to link the channel, his channel and the video to the description of this video. Go check him out if you just want to watch the whole video uncut. But, I wanted to react to it and give my thoughts on it. And he's 100% spot on. Other than the one issue about the real estate, which was wrong. Other than that, everything else he said is 100% accurate. And we're talking about someone here who's not in the DSP vortex. This isn't someone that watches Phil content, watches detractor content. This is someone that observes from an outside perspective and is aware of who DSP is. Definitely he does. And, I'm guessing he got wind of the Kino Casino boys hanging out with our boy Phil and giving him some popularity, and he wanted to see exactly what was going on. And he saw the disgusting behavior that Phil is doing. And he's spot on when it comes to Phil wasting money. We're talking about what? How much money did he waste before the bankruptcy? $500,000? 13 credit cards he maxed out? And why? And for what? What does he have to show for it? And because of his, again, because of Dark Side Phil Burnell's stupid decisions, Phil Burnell, he's in the hole that he's in. We're talking, what, 10 years later, he's still in that same hole. And he has the audacity to expect other people to dig him out of that hole. And sorry, Phil, that just isn't going to happen. And if you try to make it happen, you're going to have people like me, people like Omegon, but just the local podcasts, Medicare, all of these folks, they're going to call you out for it, Phil. So anyway, that's all I had to say. It was a good video. It's a good piece. Definitely check it out. He's a good content creator. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. Peace out.